What is up, everyone? It's John. Welcome back to WGC. It has been far too long, and I am so glad to be back on the channel, and I thought what a fun way to start the channel back up in 2026 with a rig rundown and what's going on. So I'm going to use this DJI Nano to show you some of the board, but also if you're curious about creating videos, I have a new channel called Harry & Co. It's going to be all content creator based, and sometimes, yes, it'll be circling around being a music content creator, but essentially how to start making stuff without having the high-end gear and all the fancy things like that. So go click over there, link in the description if you want to see how a video is made and some more stuff and occasional clips that maybe we'll make it on there instead of WGC. So let's get started. I know you are eager, if you're watching this, to see another worship board. So to start off, I'm using the Quad Cortex as the main brain and all the wet effects, and then you'll notice over here some new guys and some traditional, like they've already been on the board guys, like the Daily Driver and the Morning Glory. Yeah, so I have been playing guitar for a while, and I was on a Helix and then 100 pedal board. You can see those videos on here. Before you notice or know anything, yes, I know the main guitar is a Gibson and it might be out of tune here or there, but that's okay. So, give you a quick rundown of the signal flow. It goes through the rattlesnake cable into this optical Moore compressor down to the Daily Driver, which is always on. The Morning Glory is the stage 2, and then it goes into the Quad Cortex right in the front. So the main sounds you're going to hear from the amps are the 65 Deluxe amp head with the Tone Junkie 65 Deluxe IR, and then a matchless, the matchless amp with the Bad Cat 30 IR on it. After that, it's going to go into a couple different things that I'll go on to as we go through here. And then we have our guitars. First guitar right now is the Gibson SG Standard. It's a 2023, I believe. It is a 2021, excuse me. The 2021 Gibson, or 2020 Gibson SG Standard in black. The only thing that's different are the tuners are now locking tuners instead of the standard. This is my mainstay with this nifty orange couch strap, Jiffy weave strap. And yeah, it goes into the board, and that's my main sound. You'll notice that on this one here, I have two sounds I really go with. The pink is for the pink guitar, and then the other one is for the other one, for the SG and for humbuckers. So let's run through what the sound is real quick. Okay, so this is the sound. This is the Quad Cortex signal flow. I have a capture from Tone Shepherd of the prickly pear, and then it's a polyoctave, so it's like my POG. Here are the amps, like I mentioned right here. And then this is where my volume pedal is. I go into a vibrato. I have a Dimension C, a microprocessor, which is one of their newer things, and then I have a delay always on and a reverb always on. The delay that's always on is the dual in a quarter and a dotted eighth. And then the hall reverb that has, it's pretty wet. Then my ambient patch actually triggers a reverse delay, and this new Blossom, it's off the Blue Sky, it's directed off that. An EQ just at the end to clean up, and then a freeze pedal for when I want to, at the end I have the freeze pedal block. I use that for when I want to swell, if I need to create some ambience and I want to play underneath a pad that they haven't fired from the tracks yet, and so that's there essentially. But let's go over some sounds with the SG so you can kind of hear what the playing sounds like. I guess I should tune first, because I'll get roasted if I don't. Something else that I also do that I'll just put real quickly on the screen as well, I run in hybrid mode. So for hybrid mode, I'm doing the top row is really running my delays and reverbs on and off and firing those. And then the microprocessor and the pair you'll see on the C and the D, those are just like a boost if I need a solo section for a boost. And then the microprocessor is like my super wet, extra bit, if you will. But just to run through it real quick, so we go standard, is just no extra reverb or delay, swell, swell. Like I said, C and D are what they are. The polyoctave, the vibrato, the dimension C, and then the freeze. And so just to show you like the clean basic sound that I have, it's not really clean, but my main sound is this. That's the main sound. If I stack if I add the Morning Glory, it's got this is my lead tone. Next is the swell patch, which we'll show you right here. And I like to add the Dimension C on with that. I think it just sounds pretty. And I use typically bridge for most things. And then on the Gibson, I really like the middle pickup position. So that's kind of the main ambient patch I'll use if I need to do something a little more swelly in a song. If I'm playing by myself, like a in-between moment, I might kick on the microprocessor here and then just really come to enjoy those sounds. If I want to stack things and like have like a really big ambient lead, I'll maybe throw it in the bridge position and the Morning Glory. That's kind of the biggest, I think, loudest sound I'll typically get, and that actually probably with the way that setup might be a little close to clipping, but that's kind of the main sound with this. And then just to give you a quick overview of the Strat sounds and maybe some explanation. So real quickly, just kind of go over the Strat. This is actually a parts caster that I like built kind of from the ground up. My wife was on a bike ride and found this. It was originally started as a blue Squire Strat that was completely broken, electronics were gone, it just needed a lot of work. So I bought a Warmth neck and I did like a true oil finish myself. I painted the whole thing pink. You can see actually in the back it's still got the blue showing. Wilkinson bridge, Gibson P90 bridge, and then these are actually from a Fender American Strat that my buddy had lying around that he kind of gifted to me, so shout out Greg. Warmth pickguard custom cut, and then I'm a big Ariel Posen fan, so this is Fender all electronics inside here, and then cupcake knobs that were just a little Ariel Posen shout out. But the main sound is essentially this on the bridge. Where I think this guitar really shines is its swell patch with the Dimension C. Just nice and quiet, just so you get a little bit of that, just a little. That is a beautiful sound. I like this guitar. It's fun. It's different. I do also use that rubber bridge behind me and that D'Angelico here and there. I've been on the fence about selling that. And then the Fesley actually is going to be a mod project that I'm going to start working on this year. I think it's going to be like a humbucker P90 situation and then some upgraded tuners and whatnot, but more for that to come. But yeah, just to give you a couple more tones, here's kind of like that lead sound again with the Morning Glory on. And then here's that big swell idea. And then I wanted to show you guys the freeze on this. So we're going to put on the freeze just with like a little G chord like this and just noodle around and show you just kind of how I'll typically use that. So freeze patch. I'll do like a power chord or something. So a couple things I wanted to just go over with it. So in the context of a mix, I really like how the sound is for with the EQ. It might be a bit harsh in a couple areas, but I'm really just going for a specific set within the EQ at my church specifically, and then I'll maybe tailor that EQ, not maybe, I will tailor that EQ with the sound person if I'm playing at someone else's church or building, just to make sure it's fitting in the mix with everyone who's on stage. So just to show you the EQ on the Gibson, and I'll show you the EQ on the Strat. So this is the EQ that I'm rocking right now. You can tell pretty much everything 65 is cut, 125 is cut, 250 and 500 are a little boosted with that 1K, and then 2K to 16K, you see that start slowly sloping down, just to get rid of any of that like harsh brittleness. And then there's not a whole lot of difference, just a little different boost on the 250 and the 500, and brought the 4K down just a little bit. And so that pretty much is the rig right now. I'm not really playing other places at the moment, or playing like a lot of acoustic, or I'm not playing a lot of like bass, so I don't have any patches really dialed in for that. I do have an older Orangewood, like the rubber bridge. I have a patch for that I'm actually going to revamp and do a separate video on, using that with effects, because it's a super fun thing. But ultimately, that's what's going on with the rig in 2026. The channel's going to see some changes. Hopefully some postings are going to start happening again. Patrick and I are going to do some lives soon as well. Try and shoot for like once a month for that. Try and get together in person to shoot some things. And so you'll hopefully see content coming from both of us soon. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the rig. What you do or don't like about it. I guess it will happen regardless. So it'd be cool to hear what you like about it. And then, yeah, you'll see more IEM videos posted. And then I would love to know what you would like to see on a 2026 worship gear channel, when there's already an abundance of channels. I think we're going to do some vlogs, some different things about like just guitar nerdiness. And then if you go back, like I mentioned, onto my new channel, Harry & Co., that's going to be about content creation. So like, how am I filming videos? What am I doing with setup? If I don't, maybe I'll do a video where I can only use my iPhone or this DJI Nano, and I have to like go through what it looks like, some DaVinci tutorials on how I edit, some Logic, or some basic DAW tutorials, like anything from a more high-end thing to a free thing. Yeah, overall really excited for the journey and what's going to come next. So thank you so much for watching this quick video. Till then, see you soon. Peace.
Worship Gear Co.